In a time of culture wars and political division, the political centre in the UK is vanishing. But is this just politics or a sign of something deeper in how we seek meaning and community?
I come from Africa, and we have a saying in Africa which is Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am who I am through other people. In other words, individualism is kind of, people don't identify with an individualistic worldview, and so they come to church.
In many Western countries, church attendance has fallen, replaced by individual pursuits of well-being.
People have started turning to mindfulness. So instead of having your religious instruction classes, now people have breathing classes and mindfulness classes and yoga stretches and all those kind of things, which are spiritual things, but it's a little bit of a spiritual lucky dip. In other words, I just use what I find works for me, kind of thing. It's the difficulty is to where do we find the truth in there? What is it? Is it myself? I can tell myself various things and then believe those things, and then how do I kind of connect with others who might not believe in the same way as I do? And so that's always the risk of individualism.
A growing market in mindfulness and self-help reflects a shift not away from spirituality, but towards practices rooted in personal experience over collective tradition.
Whilst mindfulness practice may be thought of as something that's very individual, something that's very self-focused, almost as a sort of self-improvement thing, the opposite can in many ways be true, in that when we start to see in any given moment what's truly important, maybe it isn't the noise that was sort of rushing around our minds on a loop. Maybe there's something else. We get better sight of our values, our own intrinsic motivations, our connection to others. We can sometimes see that more clearly through practices like mindfulness practice.
Mindfulness can nurture compassion and clarity, but when communal rituals fade, what happens to shared responsibility, to traditions that tether us to each other, not just ourselves?
If you look at the American elections, the United States elections, there's been a very strong swing to the evangelical right wing in the Republican Party. And those come with certain conservative values. They may not be all Christians' values, but they've given it a Christian spin.
As faith fragments, its remnants risk being reshaped by politics, not purpose. Spirituality may begin with the self, but it cannot end there.